Hey guys, good morning. We are February 2nd, Tuesday. Well, with the way GME looks now at 131, I think the short squeeze happened back here, and this is just the sell-off aftermath of it. So I'm selling my positions at this point, pre-market, and hopefully you guys do all right. Just playing. Man, I hope I had some of you. Yeah, we're down a lot. Down 1,100 on this one. Down at least 1,000 or so on the other one. This is still happening. They're still manipulating the share price to scare people. There's a whole lot I've been reading. So much misinformation out there, so I'm careful to even not share too much with you guys because I don't know what everything I've read is true or what's not true. I kind of just share it with you guys. You decide what you want to believe. But I've learned a lot and seen a lot actually on Wall Street Bets, honestly. So if you just type in Reddit WSB, there's a lot of like just kids on there that just post emotional stuff and this and that, that you're not going to get any sort of help from. But then if you sift through it, you will see quite a bit of due diligence and a lot of smart people doing a lot of research and figuring out what's exactly going on. I don't know at all what or what's all exactly true and what's not. I just kind of know from experience and what I've seen. The low volume sell-offs, typically that doesn't mean people are actually selling. That's kind of that short ladder attack. Hedge funds selling it back and forth to each other, lowering the price to get it lower. I've read quite a bit on Wall Street Bets, and take this with a grain of salt, but basically that the short float number, the percentage of short floats, the SEC changed this weekend to how they count it. So before, I believe it was the total number of shares, and then I think they changed it, from what I understand, to it's also including the counterfeit or like synthetic type shares, where when you short a stock, you're borrowing it, but if they don't have that share to borrow, if it's a naked short, if they don't have that share to borrow, it's kind of, in my mind, it's just kind of like in a holding. But if they cover it before it ever needs to be basically produced, that's when you get these synthetic shares, and that's when basically they can do stuff like this, and it's like, how is this possible? I know I'm not explaining it right or anything, but if you're in the comments and you want to pipe up, feel free. But also what that does is, man, there's so much stuff I was reading about. It's so difficult. Let me just go through some of the stuff that actually you guys have commented. You guys are legends. Thanks for all of the subs and comments. It's crazy. But yeah, you guys have been sharing a lot, and it's awesome. I want to point out, someone made this thing about the SEC changing the rules. I was reading on Wall Street Bets, and then this guy actually shared it right here. R-lag. Short percent still exceeds 100%. Still, so I don't know what the short float is. This one says 122 or whatever. I think this is reported twice a month, like we were thinking. The Bloomberg terminal could be updated, because I was saying Bloomberg's only reporting 55%. That could be the updated SEC thing, where it's actually including synthetic shares. So, and then it goes deep. There could be deep corruption going on, honestly, because there maybe was never enough shares to sell or short, and at this point they might be just trying to drive the price down, and basically are, from what I can see, my only defense against them getting out of this without light being shined on it is if I hold shares. So, and I mean, call options, whatever. So that's what I'm doing. I'm holding my shares. It seems that there might be pretty deep corruption going on, and I don't know how deep it goes, and I don't really care to try and figure it out. I did read quite a bit though, and it's given me conviction from the due diligence I've seen done and what I've done to find that I'm holding. So this, let's say, additional share float, shares shorted, float. Our calculation is shares floated plus float plus shares shorted. So it's, of course, with Wall Street and this, they're going to try and get technical stuff like how is this not happening? And they're going to just get down to really nitty gritty stuff. They're gonna have to cover, and I don't know the timeline now. I guess what you guys want to know. Oh, time. When is he gonna do this? When is he gonna... I don't know timeline. At one point I said it could be weeks. It could be a month or two. Last week I was hoping it was gonna be Monday. It's not Monday, of course. And now I'm hearing on the 15th, I think the feds or someone meets and something might get exposed or changed on the 15th. That's what I've heard. Yeah, so basically if you look back at our other videos, oh, here's another person. Thanks. I can't pronounce your name. Niet van Opissing. Is that Scandinavian, some sort? My video about the European markets closing short, I guess that wasn't right because most of them trade on, I guess, the New York Stock Exchange and not on the European market. So that was just my thesis, but I guess it was wrong. I don't want to point that out. I don't want to mislead you guys. But yeah, I'm like overload of information. Yeah. Anyways, this is kind of what I'm seeing, and I'm holding. Honestly, if I was able or wanted to put more capital into it at this point, I would. This is a great price. And I've also heard some people saying that the hedgies will reverse their position after they cover and try and shoot it up to try and get back some gains of all their losses. So if we look back at this chart, remember, so actually this was up here. If you watch that other video, it was like this when I made that video. And I'm like, okay, if it holds this support, I think it'll consolidate and kind of get squeezed tighter. This is typically how stuff would happen. Just so you know, it would consolidate more, not always, but clearly, and then it would break out one direction or another. It consolidated some and it didn't keep going. It just kind of fell through, and this is where this is like kind of abnormal stuff. I've got over 2,000 hours of chart examination and watching the market and studying and learning. But I mean, this can happen, but this I guess is the breakout to the south end, but it just seems and feels fake. It's always after hours they're doing it when we can't trade. Hedge funds are just slowly melting it down. If we look at this, like I was saying, guys, this shows the shares that are going back and forth, and you can tell it's just bots also. Someone pointed this out because the time, it's all at the same time. Literally every second, just 100 shares, 100 shares, 100 shares. And there's not like any real trading going on. And you can tell that too by volume. I never really realized that. With volume, I always did, it was always like to confirm a breakout one way or the other, or to confirm a validation or confirmation that this trend is reversing or this has steam or whatever, is with volume. That's always your confirmation. So when this happens, I mean, this is a lot of volume for GameStop, but relatively in the past, look at these. Look at this. So to give a little picture, actually, I haven't even done this yet. Look back here. Look at all that volume and look how little it rose. So to give an idea, people were buying. Hedges buying, everybody buying. Tons of volume, buying and selling. Tons of volume, buying. A lot of volume. Volume drops off. Look at this. Less volume, less volume, smaller bars, less volume. This is that crazy short ladder attack that was halted, and then you couldn't buy more shares. And look, much less volume. There's better volume charts, but this is kind of all I have, I guess, or what I'm using. Less volume, and it's like, with it being up here, for it to have such little volume, just to have these little melt-offs, it seems like we put our capital in, and then this happened, and we're just holding, and we don't have more capital to put in, so we can't shoot back up. And if you're restricted from buying, then you're not going to be able to buy. So yeah, this melt off, I mean, yeah, it might be scary. If you shouldn't put in more than you can't lose. And now people are starting to really see what diamond hands is like. Before they were like, yeah, I have a diamond hands. They had 10 shares that averaged $61, and then it goes up to 500, and then they're like, I have diamond hands, it's at 300. This is so tough. No, when you've tripled your money and you have diamond hands because instead you're doubling your money, that's not diamond hands. Go into the red. 70-80%. Keep holding. Let's see what happens. I'm not recommending anything. Only put in what you want or are willing to lose. I've got conviction about it. I'm going to keep holding. Just all the different stuff going on with it. It's if nothing else, it's a good lesson for me, and I've learned a lot, and I'm able to be a part of history, honestly. So if this is freaking you out too, you can also look back at my other video or you can look at Volkswagen, and I've pulled this up many a times. Here's a Volkswagen short squeeze. So there's big drops before it happens, but that one actually isn't even. You know what is up with this chart actually? This doesn't show it the same as these other ones. Interesting. But yeah, you can see this huge sell-off before it happened. Not to say that this is what's going to happen with GameStop, but you can see this did happen. So it's trying to shake you out. This one I really liked because it showed the sell-off actually lower than what it was just the average price back here. So this average price on GameStop would be probably like $10, where it kind of held support for a long time. So this might get really low first. And then my theory also last weekend, I was like, okay, this is Friday over the weekend, then it's Monday. So I was hoping Monday was this Monday. Might be next Monday, might be Monday after that. Might not even happen on a weekend. But this is what we have to look for. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot for you. Like, watch my other videos about how to invest in the stock market and not lose money. It's basically buying things you have conviction in, trying to buy them at a good price, and then not selling them. So if that's you for GameStop, I'm all for it. Me on this, I'm swing trading it. At this point, I don't want this in my long term, just because I don't know what they're gonna do. They haven't offered shares. They haven't put a floor in anywhere. So if they come out, if Cohen or whoever comes out and says this is what we're doing and I like it, I will wait for a good price and buy a more sizable position and not even look at it. So that's how I do long term. But the swing trade, I am trying to join in on this fun time. Okay, also, so what we're noticing here, so part of the technical analysis that I'm seeing, actually, I didn't even think about, the 9 moving average here crossing over the 180. So I was saying this is going to be a breakout one way or the other once it starts squeezing. It looks like it's broken out to the downside, which is kind of unlikely, but it seems like that's what's happened, and that could be because of market manipulation and short attacks, whatever. But that's fine. That doesn't mean it won't come back up. That just means this is the trend now. It will be trending down. So I'm bearish on it in the short term. If there is still shorted shares and it's high, there will be a squeeze that happens. Hopefully, the stock price will stay high enough before that happens, so it'll shoot even higher. Yes, as it does come down, depending on if they can actually cover their shorts, because for them to cover their shorts, we have to sell our shares. There's not many real shares out there, honestly. It seems like there's a lot of, they oversold shares, and there's some kind of crazy fraud going on. But anyways, if this 9 moving average line crosses the 180, then it would be call that a death cross, but it's basically just a bearish sign that it's now bearish because it's underneath the long moving average. And if this keeps trending down and it crosses over, that's fine. It's just probably going to keep down until it finds a bottom, and then it will consolidate, and then it should, if it's going to be bullish, it's going to be bullish at that point. So that bottom, it's hard to know when that will be. It's hard to know if this will even reflect normal price action and sorry, it's morning, and typical chart patterns, how they do. But I don't think it will, because if there's a short squeeze, it's going to be rapid price action to the upside. Probably, I've heard, for multiple days and maybe even a week of it. If you think of, 70 million shares shorted that have to be bought, or it's 100 million. I don't know exactly. But thank you guys for all your support and all your comments. A lot of good comments in here. I'm replying to all of them, so I really appreciate it. Especially some guys that do due diligence. If you share this Twitter link, that's great. That's that definitely helps out. And then I read a lot, like I said, on just Wall Street Bets, honestly. So this website, like, definitely not PG. You got to be. I like to be. I like to be pretty wholesome in my speech, but you won't find that there. Anyways, guys, I will probably update you guys if I hear of anything else. It's a nice looking sell-off, honestly, in the market open. I don't think I can put up any more capital into this at this point. I wish I held off a little longer and kind of trusted my instincts to buy, because I could see at this point it was going to break out. So I thought that's why I kind of bought in more here. But now it's like, okay, it's going to be bearish for maybe today, but I don't want to miss it. You know what I mean? Because it's going to start if it does happen, it's going to happen. It's going to start quick. They're going to think, oh, it's up to 400, it's done, but that might just be the beginning. So, anyways, I've got enough exposure to it for me. I've got, I don't know, 20 something shares. I've got debit spreads, and if it goes to zero, it'll suck, but it's not an end of the world. Don't put out more than you can lose. So one more thing on the technical analysis, I'll have to look it up, but basically you can just look this stuff up. That's what I've done. I just Googled. It's trying to figure out the right question to ask. So if it bounces off this support, so what I'm typing in is wedges in the stock market. So there's different wedges. There's like downward wedges, flat wedges, upward wedges, and depending on if it's in a bullish pattern or a bearish pattern, will kind of say what it is. Falling wedge, downward converging trend lines. I'm not going to try and, I could have done this sooner, but I didn't. Basically, there is patterns that you can see here, and if it bounces off this, well, this is definitely a support right here. You can see this 112. So we'll see what happens today. It'll be fun. This video is long enough. I'll see you guys in a bit. Sub up, comment down. I don't even know. Like up. Happy money sticks around. Okay, see you soon. Peace out.